Host chart says when packet hit to your NIC, first thing recognize whether it's a new connection. If it is a new connection, the answer is yes. Then packet matches rules, and if those rules matched, then log alerts get processed. Then decision makes whether that packet need to be passed or not, and then it's sent to the TCP/IP stack. When I say new connection, all this process has to be go under. Inside this process, these modules like inspection modules or the inspect engine, they come into the picture and they capture those state related information out of this. Okay, and then they store into the state table, kernel table, right? When for the same connection new packet arrives, it will see the state table, kernel table, and from that it allow or deny that packet, right? And if it's not a new connection, at the first it will observe those details into that state table, kernel table, and immediately based on that it take a decision and it take that packet to the next level, to the TCP/IP stack, and to the whatever the destination it required. Now when it's a new connection and the decision made whether that packet need to be allowed or not, if in case if the packet matches against the rules, if one rule is not matched, then it goes to the another rule until all rule get satisfied. And accordingly, how this security gateway stateful inspection architecture works. Now guys, let's understand how the checkpoint come up with the deployment models. So they understand the market situation, they know how the market work, what are the client's requirement, what are the things client want, how they save the money of the client, what are these, they observe the entire infrastructure from different clients, and they come up with some sort of arrangement how they can put their firewall, or how you can put the checkpoint firewall into an environment, and within that scope you can utilize that checkpoint firewall deployment very well. So they come up with some standard deployments. So we have multiple deployments here. Let me talk one by one. Number one is standalone deployment. Standalone deployment means you have only one appliance. In that one appliance, you'll be having a checkpoint security gateway software and checkpoint management server software. So one appliance will be acting as your management server and security gateway. Obviously, there will be two different modules, two different softwares. One software will act as a security management server, and one software act as a security gateway. And different instructions, different directions sent to different modules. There is no conflict over there. But if your budget is less, you don't want to purchase two different appliances dedicatedly, one is only doing this firewalling stuff, one is only doing the management stuff, then they propose you the standalone deployment. So in that you will be having your firewall and a management server into one appliance. The only issue with this deployment is that if you don't have another appliance who's configured with this appliance in a clustering mode, if that is not the case, in case this standalone appliance goes down, your both the functionality getting down. One is your firewalling and the management server, or by mistakenly some engineer do some mistake into the management server thing, and he rebooted the management server for any reason, then this firewall also get reboot, because this is inside on one single appliance. So there is no separate procedure that only the firewall module you going to be reboot, entire appliance going to be reboot. So that is the drawback what we have with standalone deployment. Then they have a distributed deployments. In distributed deployment, they understand the market situation, that people are trying to do multiple things on the management server, or due to one or the another reason that management server got down, get rebooted. It should not impact the firewalling work. So for that, they come up with a distributed environment. In distributed environment, you will be having one management server and one checkpoint firewall. So two different appliances will be having. In that management appliance, perfectly doing the management thing. It will not come across, or you will not come across any sort of firewalling over there. And security gateway appliance, it only doing the firewalling things. So in case that management server goes down, it will not impact the firewalling things. And you will be having the option that this firewall you can deploy in some data center and the management server into some another data center, so that if one data center's power goes down, where the management server is specifically, then there is no impact on the firewalling things. So that is, they call it distributed deployment, called standalone full high availability deployment. This option I already discussed. In that, you will be having two different appliances. One will be having a management server and security gateway, and the another appliance having management server and the security gateway. But both appliances are into the clustering, so that in case one of the appliance goes down, the failover occur and the another appliance will take place, and your traffic flow with respect to the firewalling don't affect. And lastly, they come up with the bridge mode. You know guys, in big IT firm, in large environment, you can't directly introduce the firewall into this environment and start doing the firewalling over there. There are a lot of things comes and matters, because the production environment is there, the live traffic are processing here and there, and due to that, introducing the new firewall directly into the new environment may cause interrupt, downtime to that environment. So Checkpoint, they also have this feature flexibility, they call it bridge mode, so that you can introduce your firewall to the new environment in a bridge mode, so that the firewall only act as a receptor of the traffic. So whatever the firewalling work, like a dropping, blocking, that will not done by the firewall at that time, but the firewall apply all rest of the features, like observing the traffic, monitor traffic, sending logs, DLP, whatever features you have, those he can do, the firewall going to be do, but silently, without impacting the actual network. So there are ports which you can connect to the main your infrastructure and the firewall, so the traffic will pass like the way it should pass in a live environment, but the copy of that communication is pass also, or goes from this firewall which is in a bridge mode, so that silently you can observe the things and you can configure the rules accordingly. This is what the flexibility what the Checkpoint gives. Apart from that, in a deployment mode, they have a lot of things we can configure as per our requirements. Not only this standard architecture what they have, you can introduce your own architecture. We'll be going to discuss on this more on later videos. So guys, thanks for watching this video and have a wonderful day.